ELI5 Why are condoms not 100 effective? The effectiveness of birth control is usually calculated as the percentage of women who, when they their partner are using that form of control alone, do not get pregnant in a year. With some caveats. So 98 effective means that for every 100 women who have their partners wear condoms as the only form of birth control, 2 of them will have a pregnancy each year. This means that the effectiveness per intercourse is way more than 98. But over a year even used perfectly, lifestyle mistakes and defects creep in and can allow pregnancies. Here's the deal, how many times have you went to put on a condom and it was backwards, so you flipped it over and put it on? You're supposed to not use it after the failed first attempt. It is now tainted with sperm. That is where most of the two comes from. You're all ready to go, dripping wet, rock hard, and you put it on wrong. It touched your juices. When you have a threesome, you're supposed to change the condom every time you change partners too. No one ever does. But you're supposed to. It is how they determine usage. If a couple is sexually active for a year and use condom, they are counted in the statistics even if they don't use condoms every time. If you take 100 such couple who use condoms for a year even if it isn't all the time, then statistically 98 of the couple will not get pregnant. 2 will. Even if they get pregnant during one of the times they didn't use a condom. It doesn't matter. I was dating a woman who after a year asked why I pulled out immediately after orgasm. I said that's actually on the directions on a box of condoms. She didn't know condoms had directions. She had one baby from a past lover who used condoms. He would climax but stay inside her. That's how she got pregnant. As he went limp, the condoms no longer sealed properly. And just as a side note, birth control effectiveness generally refers to percentage of pregnancies prevented that would have happened without protection. So 98 doesn't mean a pregnancy occurs 2 of the time condom is used. It means that if normal unprotected sex produces pregnancy X in 1000 times, a condom will prevent 98 of X pregnancies. I will put my tinfoil hat and say, 2 reasons. Any industrial product line is feasible to have errors. Like a fluctuation in the quality of the raw material. And, they use it as a legal protection to avoid hey company X that do not say the condom is not 100 baby proof, we used you condom and still get a pregnancy, we will sue you. The main issue is that condom are not used perfectly in many cases. But I would assume the 2 when used perfectly covers imperfections of the product itself, so does in fact include leaking or breaking. But those stats are really hard to control. It's mostly among people who say they use condoms every time 2 got pregnant. You would be surprised at how many men and women don't even bother reading the instructions and put the condom on wrong. A big favorite among women seems to be massively stretching it out before slipping it on the dick, instead of simply placing it on the glands and rolling it down. Don't even get me started on pinching the tank. Even if the condom isn't broken, it's still made of a material that can have holes small enough to be invisible to the naked eye but are just big enough to let a couple sperm get through, which do what they do best. Also, perfect use is also called theoretical use, and typical use is how actually effective it is. When men get an erection, it is accompanied by pre-cum. It is a fluid releases without actual orgasm that helps lubrication, and there are some active sperm in it. While putting on the condom, it's possible to get it on your hands, and then on the outside of the condom. It only takes one. Few things in existence are 100 the same state at all times. Condoms are generally made of latex. Latex is pores around 5 microns in size. Sperm is larger. But in certain circumstances, latex will stretch, heat up, and those pores may get bigger. They can also break. I'm 33 now. I've met hundreds of men and women who have no idea how to wear a condom. My own son got pregnant because the condom failed because he has to wear magnums and his dick is too big. So the condom failed. What? How is your dick too big that the condom slides off? The CDC website says that they're only around 87 effective if used properly every time. Like anything else, there is a margin of error, either slippage or breakage can occur. It increases the birth control effectiveness if other methods are also used besides just a condom. Possible manufacturing issues. They busted, didn't work right, didn't fit right, were you strong, etc. etc. Nothing in this world is certain except death, really. You can't even claim 100 if humans don't spontaneously combust. The 2 also refers to things like micro tears, product defects, and contamination with incorrect lube. Yes, if you use the wrong lube for your condom, it breaks. So, make sure what lubes are compatible with your condoms, people. No form of sexual protection is 100 effective. There is always a risk of the sperm getting through. With condoms though, it's not so much protection against unwanted pregnancy but also protection against most forms of STDs. Sex is wet and messy. We are trying to prevent a specific fluid transfer from A to B with a thin wall of latex while A is completely within B. It's way better than nothing, but you are trying to prevent sex's main function. Condoms break frequently. You usually notice but not always. When I was using them with the missus, I reckon maybe 1 in 5 would split, some brands more than others. Before the end of those I'd catch maybe 4 out of 5. Liability. If the company said they were 100 and a couple got pregnant using one, whether it was a manufacturing error, it broke, it wasn't put on correctly, a jury could be convinced to let the big pockets pay out. Like, seriously, after I've seen how people wore masks and instructions how to wear masks properly were everywhere, I don't believe that the majority of people even knows how to use condoms. It's just latex, so there's always a chance people get extra rambunctious and pops it, or it just breaks on normal usage due to manufacturer defects. There's never 100 guarantee of anything. Nothing is 100 effective for legal reasons. Bleach kills 99.9 germs, well, because if you did a study and found that 0.01 you could sue because they lied and said it killed 100. Because legally, if they say 100, and someone gets an STD or gets pregnant, then the condom companies can be sued to high heavens. Making it 99 effective gives them an out, because those cases are not perfect to use. It is perfect in practice but not perfect in a literal sense. Perfect in literal is impossible to perform and impossible to know. Condoms break, company knows this. So they cannot say it's 100 effective without being sued the first time one breaks and someone gets pregnant or infected with an STI. Because if it says 100, and people don't know how to use it and break it, put it on after fooling around for a while, and people get pregnant, they can and will sue. Correct me if I'm nothing is 100 according to science except death and taxes. There could always be some complete random anomaly that skews the stats, because only 100 method is not doing it at all or being infertile. But there is a reported case of one virgin from the Middle East that get pregnant anyway. Think of it as 2 of couples who use exclusively condoms and report no slippage, leakage, or breakage of condoms will still get pregnant in a given year. I doubt any company will tout 100 effectiveness for legal reasons. On the one-off problems like defects or user error, the 2 is a margin for stupid. It's based on an average and it's usually due to user error. Used properly they're 100, but legally they don't say that so they don't get sued. Manufacturing defect, or the material is too thin or has a crease that rips and allows fishy bastards to get into mommy oven danger zone. Any product has some chance of failing. The product maker tries to reduce as much liability as they can. Don't trust condoms? Don't fuck. A lot of dudes like to keep them in wallets for weeks or months, causing friction, can cause breakdowns and tears in the rubber. Is this not similar to disinfectant saying only 99 effective? They can't say 100 cause they could get sued if something goes wrong. Explain like I'm 5. Sorry buddy, you're gonna have to ask your parents about this one. Now who wants some ice cream? 1. They slip off. 2. They rip. 3. They're old wallet condoms that get worn. 4. Crazy bitches poking holes with needles. One word: liability. Can't sue the company if they clearly state sometimes, our product does not work. Follow-up question. The people that aren't using condoms correctly, what are they doing incorrectly?